Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to today's International Women's Day conference hosted by the Pakistani Women in Computing. My name is Karina Liu, and I'm on the North America Developer Ecosystem team here at Google, supporting our amazing community of Women Techmakers Ambassadors and Google developer groups across the US and Canada. I get the pleasure to work with these incredible ambassadors who have shown their resilience and commitment to educating, supporting, and mentoring others in the community and creating impact throughout these challenging times. IWD is a moment every year we all come together to celebrate and empower women in our community as we continue to work together to help create a world that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive. So let's all do our part to hold open the door for women to be a part of the conversations. As we like to say, empowered women empower all. This year's theme, Progress Not Perfection, celebrates all kinds of progress. Whether it's big or small, we're celebrating it all and our inner strength and resilience that allow us to get here. Let's strive for growth and discovery and enjoy the journey wherever it takes us. If you're passionate about building diverse and inclusive communities where all women can thrive in tech, you can check out womentechmakers.com for more details about becoming an ambassador. Now, I'd like to turn it over to today's host. I'm so excited to have you join this IWD event and would like to give a huge kudos to the Pakistani Women Computing team for putting together an amazing agenda and lineup of speakers. Take care, and I hope you enjoy connecting and learning.
Hello, hello. I am going to be your first speaker of this two-day conference with Pakistani Women in Computing. I love to see y'all enjoying the introduction from Karina, Woman Techmaker North America program lead, and I would like to allow you to get a chance to see how to build community without boundary. Um, First of all, thank you for Pakistani Women in Computing for inviting me to this conference. And I love seeing all of you trying to gain more traction to build a better community. Today, I'm going to share my experience of building communities without boundaries. And I will dig deeper into how I get to do this by myself with the community as well with an amazing team. So I want you to get to know me first, and before I dig into how I build communities. I'm in software development by trade. I was a software developer, and I am currently in the leadership role, leading a team that is across 3 continents. Having said that, building community is one of the best things I love, as a techie in the industry, and I, for some reason, just enjoying being able to do this outside of my work, volunteering for various communities, and the tech space is one of my favorite. Outside of the professional setting, I am deeply involved with the tech community, and at the same time, I want to bring more awareness for underrepresented groups in the tech space. So the main reason why I started doing this was because I am based in Calgary. This is a growing city in Alberta, Canada, and we are not having technology as the primary industry. So as I got into tech as my career, I wanted to see more people like me in the space. So I got involved with Canada Learning Code and as a volunteer, and soon after that, I become their chapter lead when they needed someone to take the role. My role as a chapter lead is encompassing in managing the program as is, and I was really involved in creating the motivation for the community to grow. I was able to mentor hundreds of local folks from age 3 to 73 with digital literature. And I think it's important to know, like, that is part of my aspiration in my career, that I want to engage more people like me, and may not being seen as a norm in the tech space, to have the confidence to be involved with the industry. So, um, that being said, growing the tech community in Calgary was like one of my favorite, because I was able to see all the all the growth that is being involved, with my help, as well as people who are already in the space trying to make it possible for everyone. When I moved to Toronto, due to my career change, and various things, I decided to seek the same impact in Toronto. Toronto is a city that is tech oriented, based in Ontario, Canada. And what I found is that there's already an existing scene of technology community, and it's really hard to find connection in a city like Toronto, where there's already hundreds, probably thousands of tech communities, micro communities involved. And my goal as a Woman Tech Maker Ambassador was to really push the boundary of not only women in tech group, but also bringing more ally into the space, and being able to advocate for underrepresented groups. So I started to go to various meetups, networking events, and this was back in the days when we have lots of in-person engagements. And that's when I got to know Toronto JS. So Toronto JS is a JavaScript focused tech community, but not they don't only engage in JavaScript folks, they also are open for conversation that is tech related. Anything that you can think of under the sun, really, in the tech industry. So that really gave me the motivation to keep going. And I see the value of me helping this community to grow. And my focus here is to not only drive my perspective, from Woman Tech Maker Ambassador to the community, but also my perspective as an Asian woman in the space, as an immigrant in the space, um, and just like all these other perspective into an existing community that is already thriving. I am so happy that, giving a shout out to Matthew Miho and Simon Stern, who made me so welcome from the first day. And they actually have been super welcoming to my ideas to the community. And because of that, I was able to show um, more, possibility for the community to grow, in terms of like, hey, let's change this event style into a more inclusive um, environment for everyone who's in the space. The existing member was able to find connection and bringing their friends into the community, because we are a community that could engage with any conversation, and um, we don't discriminate anyone from their background, whatever education you have, or whatever technology you're into. We only, allow people who respect each other to be in the community. We have a full code of conduct to make sure people follow the rules and make sure we maintain those rules. We most recently grew over 10,000 members on meetup.com, and we are now considering one of the biggest tech group in meetup.com as the platform. And I am super grateful for what Toronto JS has bring for me as a Woman Tech Maker Ambassador, and I continue to do so with my involvement with them, and continue running new initiatives to see if there's anything that I could help them to grow. That being said, let's dive into how this magic work. You may ask, how does this magic happen, Sherry? Simply put, everyone is welcome. And that really resonates with me with all the experiences I have being involved with various tech communities. Throughout my experience with Canada Learning Code, now Toronto JS, I noticed that these groups are very inclusive and they pretty much welcome everyone into the space. Furthermore, there's a structure. They really encourage a set structure to make sure they can maintain the community as well as making their existing volunteers happy. Volunteers in your group are motivated by purpose and impact. Giving them the power to do what they do best, allow them to shine within the community is the most important thing. The easiest way to do so is to give them a badge or a title that you think fits. What you could do in this case is, like, if you have someone who is really into social media, give them a social media manager title. Let them schedule your social media, create content for engagement. And at the same time, allow them to take that initiative to really push the boundary for your community and open up for bigger, wider engagement. If you have someone who is into event ideas, allow them to run a pilot program, allow them to become an event organizer for your community and test out what will work with your community, and keep that momentum going. Once that pilot program works, keep it as a stable for your community, and maybe that would be a static program for you. Remember, volunteers are just like you. They are busy people, and we need to make sure we show appreciation for their involvement, because they believe in the community just as much as we do as community leads, and they are there because they enjoy growing the community with us. So celebrate every success that they could bring upon to your team, your community, and allow them to perhaps have another badge or stars, whatever it is that could reward them to show that they're actually making direct impact to your community. Secondly, we have the community members. Community members are motivated by resources and consistency. Create recurring programs that it's easy to follow, and with the consistent structure will allow them to keep going as well as introduce your program to others. When your community member know that if they attend a specific program, they are going to get XYZ out of it. That is something that they would like to stick with. And if you run a social media schedule every Thursday, they're going to get some sort of affirmation or shout out to the community member. That is something that they would be looking forward to or subscribe to. Same thing goes to celebrating their success. So yes, celebrate your member success within the form of communication that you have. Community members love the fact that people are cheering each other on in terms of their career or their personal life. When I initiated Code and Coffee as like a social gathering for the Calgary chapter with Canada Learning Code, we as a team, we ran the event no matter what people said in the community, and no matter what how many registrant we have. We make the event happen, even with just a handful of people. This just gives me a chance to have like close coffee chat with my community members, right? So doesn't matter how big the engagement is, you get a chance to see how much people are, taking value of your contribution and giving the resources to them. So I want you to make sure when you're building that community, your members and your volunteers are getting value both ways, and allowing them to give you more ideas to create more events that is going to help them to come back next time. Canada Learning Co. has dedicated signature programs for kids, girls, teens, and ladies. And that is a consistency that people are looking forward to when they're involved in that community, in that organization. Same thing with Toronto JS. Toronto JS has 4 consistent programs throughout. And when people sign up for a Toronto JS talk, tech talk, they know that they're going to get industry subject matter experts to show them, to demonstrate what they do in the technology that they're speaking on, and gain personal or professional growth through that. So I want to not only share that like your own community engagement within, but also want you to focus on amplifying um, your community as a group. We live in a digital world. Social media is very powerful. Just as today, I am live talking to you to, I think, 3 different platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, and what's another one? YouTube. So that being said, having the connection through social media is so important and so powerful. So, and oh, right. If you would like to drop a comment in the chat, have questions for me, please do so. We will highlight you on the screen. I will answer your questions live. And feel free to engage with our team on the chat as well. One thing about building your community is being able to utilize social media. Schedule those social media posts, boost engagements, have your social media manager to run your social media profiles, allow them to create content and engage with other folks who are also in the space, and keep that momentum going. With social media, we also have to remember that there's cross promotion that you could do with one group to another. Partnership like what PWiC is doing with Women Techmaker is one of the examples. Attend, contribute, and support other community. That's going to give you a direct connection with another community, not only for personal gain, but also for like a consistent partnerships throughout. We 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 want to, like, as a community lead, we want to get speakers from all over the world, from subject matter experts to add value to our community. But at the same time, if you know an organizer that is really great in a specific technology that your community can take value to, invite them into your community, just like how you would invite a company to talk your at your group to share their technology. Same thing. Allow them to promote themselves with your community, and have that cross interaction with one another. And who knows, maybe you're gaining members from around the world, like what Toronto JS is doing, and create more impact around your community and gain more tractions within. I personally go to tech networking events for my own personal gain and my own professional development. And I usually will, if there's an opportunity, I usually would introduce what I do professionally, as well as what I bring to the table in terms of being a part of a community, or multiple community in this case, and being able to share what I could do for others, for the existing networking environment that I'm into. Um, Sorry, I'm just reading a comment here. Great. It's not a question. And for that, I want to be able to share my knowledge with the other community, but at the same time, let them know that you can engage with me, so I could help you further, amplify your community as well. There's a local tech community called Pixels and Pines here in Calgary, and I love what the organizers do in terms of connecting one group to another. Is that because it is a social hangout for techies, the organizer Tony Grimes would actually set the social connection setting with you know, quick pitches from any attendees that is at the event to ask them if you are hiring or if you are looking for help. Please do your pitch in the beginning of the event. And then he sets the tone for the rest of the social for people to make connections through that. Because there are people who are asking for help and asking for, new hires or talent. And that makes that social event very energetic and active because they know that there's always people who are asking and who are looking in that same setting. Um, that being said, huge shout out to Tony's work, and not Tony don't only do the event like on the day of event announcement. He also have scheduled emailed going out to his partner asking proactively, hey, do you have anything from your community that I could help you cross promote or say a few lines in my announcement in my event, because he runs this social regularly. So things like that will help you gain cross promotion throughout. Connection like this goes a long way. A community As community leads, we are helping each other to grow, and your community is not only defined by um, a physical constraint. You are defined by your interest, your people, as well as whoever that is in the community. So keep in mind that um, having being able to connect your group with another group can help you cross promote your community in terms of like growth. Lastly, I want to focus on finding your people. Community is made of people who care, as much as I want to say volunteers and members and even community leads. For we are there because we care for what we value in terms of interest. In the world that we no longer are limited to physical borders, I encourage you to connect with people around the world, just like how Mariam from PWiC found me via Woman Techmaker. And we're both ambassadors, and uh, we got to find each other through interest. And I think that speaks volume in terms of like finding your people. A community doesn't have to be physically limited, as I mentioned before. We can now use knowledge from across the ocean and being able to share knowledge with no boundary. Seek out those connection, proactively with people that you feel that is going to add value to your community, and bring them into your community and keep that momentum going. Relationship is a two-way stream. Once you connected with whoever that you're connected to, you'll have to keep them in mind to make sure you're creating opportunity to engage with them. And that goes to how you structure the programs that's within your community, to how you promote each other, perhaps having like social network connection. So, um, that being said, I want to give you a list of communities that you could immediately connect with. There are so many communities that's out there to strive for underrepresented groups in the tech space, especially that is woman focused. Number one, Women Techmaker. Women Techmaker is a group by Google. We are a bunch of women who are already in the tech space. And again, you don't have to be technical to be part of these woman-led groups, because your role in a tech company showing that you are a woman in tech, your expertise in working in the tech industry is going to be different from others who don't work in the tech industry. So Woman Techmaker is one of the groups that you can connect with. Women Techmaker not only use Google technologies and resources to empower their members, but also have signatures events like International Women's Day, like huge initiative for like tech-driven events that will allow diversity in the space. Um, Second one is Women Who Code. Women Who Code runs a fantastic newsletter to celebrate women in the tech space and have a running job board to advocate for companies who are diversity champions. And this is not just limited to these two. There's so many out there in the world that you can connect with. Your local tech community also have various women in tech groups that you can connect with, and for that, again, connect with them, let them know that you are another woman in tech group that you can share resources with, and allow them to have the chance to connect with you. We have a question. How can folks join these groups and communities? Yeah, that's a great question from Novara. Thank you for asking. So with actively engage, I think it's easy for viewers to connect with communities like your local communities when you find one through either direct email, their website, meetups, or social media platforms. And if you're someone who's not already in a community, I encourage you to DM them, direct message them, send them a direct message and let them know, hey, I would love to either be part of your volunteer team, be part of your organizing team, or I would love to become a member. How do I become a member? There's ways to subscribe to them. If you go to womentechmakers.com, you will be able to get how to know how to join as a member, as well as how to become an ambassador. Subject matter experts from around the world also will be able to help you. Local communities brings in your like physical talents within your space, but at the same time you can actually reach around the world to find find subject matter experts to add value to your community. One thing is to make sure you're listening to your members, community members. If your community members like, ooh, wouldn't be interesting if we have like a cloud speaker to come into our next tech talk and be able to like present us how to work with Google Cloud Tech. That's one way for community leads to take note, and go out there to find those subject matter experts to come into their community and give a talk. Because we as community leads are there to really help engage with our members. We need to build content that is going to help our members. Miriam is asking, how has building communities helped you in your career? Ah, that's a great question. You may ask, Sherry, you're doing all this work and it's volunteering. How does it impact your career? Significantly, actually. I learned how to lead a team and multiple team, a multifaceted team through community work. At the same time, I learned how to do public speaking through talking to people in the communities that I'm involved with. Um, Being a Woman Take Maker ambassador also gave me training to become better speaker in the space. So there's going to be every single community will give you resources that make you a better person, and I want to say life, like personally and professionally, because these are growing things that we care about in terms of what we subscribe to. So being in communities like this allows me to raise awareness for future engagement, but at the same time, career wise, I am a person who think about culture in my professional setting. I want to build my team to have proper culture, to support each other, to celebrate each other's success. And I try to, amplify that from not only my current team, but also, my department and company wide, and trying to share that, learning from what I learned from the community with my professional setting. We have a question from PWiC. What are some of the challenges when building communities without boundaries? Ah, yes. So this is a direct question to my presentation, right? Um, it's not easy, and this is what, and this goes, hand in hand with the theme progress, not perfection. Doing this is not easy, and I want to let you know, like, it will take time to challenge the perception. um, yes, Toronto JS was welcoming me for new ideas, but it took time for me to really push forward my ideas with the team to make sure we change the environment to include um, more underrepresented groups in the space. So that being said, the major challenge you may get when you're building a community without boundary is that you are going to get people who is already in the organizing team not sure where the focus is in terms of like what the value is for the organization or the community. And that's when you have to go in and really propose your ideas in terms of like my goal for Toronto JS is to create um, a more diverse space for everyone and an inclusive space for everyone and anyone. So my number one goal when I first joined was I saw the the gates that may keep people away, and I listed them. I let the organizer know, like, hey, here are some of the things that we should focus on, and I want to take the initiative to do them, to make them better. And that makes me the person who's driving my initiative, right? So um, the major challenges is going to be actions. You, as long as you are pushing forward with actions, there's going to be growth. So thank you for that question. So I love the fact that TWIC asked that previous question, because that brings in my last slide here. Thank you for tuning in today for my session for building community without boundary. I like to highlight this year's woman Woman Techmaker International Women's Days theme: progress, not perfection. No matter the size your community is, as long as you found your people to grow together, create a structure within your community, cross promote with one another, you will see growth. Don't expect everything to go smoothly on day one, because that is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for and what we're striving towards is change, right? So make sure you initiate them, apply actions to them, and keep that momentum going. And yes, thank you again for being here with me. I am open for question if any of you have additional question for me. We have a question from Facebook. What are some tips for scaling community globally? Yeah, that is a fantastic question. So for scaling, um, I want to say naturally your community will grow if you started building your community without boundary. When you are actively engaging people who are outside of your physical boundary, you're likely going to see following from outside of your physical location. And I think naturally Toronto JS turns into that. We have people who subscribe to and sign up to join our Slack group because people found us through a tech talk or through a workshop. And then they are sharing these workshop with another people who are perhaps from their professional setting, and then being able to join into the community that way. So I want to say the answer to that question is naturally you will grow without like grow um, outside of your community when you're engaging with people who are outside of that boundary. Question from Hamna: how do you keep momentum in the community? That's a great question. So when you create structure, as I mentioned, on building structure, your that is a recurring momentum for your members and your volunteers. If you have a monthly workshop that you do for, I'm going to bring in Android workshop, a Google technology. So if you have a monthly Android workshop that is going to teach new technique of Android development, your members will engage and know like what to expect every time. And if you're working through a curriculum together, your members will also subscribe to the next one and keep that momentum going. And the volunteers who are leading these events will have something to look forward to every month. Oh, we're doing, enjoy um, curriculum number 2 out of 10 in this series, and we're going to keep that going, and then the next month we're going to do 3 out of 10. That keeps that momentum going. So find the structure for your community and create programs that is going to um, have consistency for your team as well as for your members. I believe that is all the questions we have from y'all. Thank you so much again for being here with me. And again, this is a 2-day conference from Pakistani Women in Computing. So stay tuned. You are going to see more fabulous speakers throughout this 2-day event. Thank you again for being here. I am Sherry Yang. Connect with me through any social media platform, and I will be able to answer your other questions. Bye for now.